I'm working on some bakes that I can take on the airplane with me while traveling internationally. This involves disguising my fruit, so I have to kind of cook it and mash it. I decided to do a little experiment with what we know about pureeing our fruit. So here I have just my frozen fruit that I have heated and mashed, and I'm going to give it a 5-minute timer and just see how much liquid actually gets through this fine mesh sieve. So as you can see here, I waited 5 minutes and almost nothing. In fact, I have a little shot glass that has measurements on the side of teaspoons. So what I did was I used that to measure and see actually how much we got out. So we got out about 13 teaspoons of liquid passed through. So what happens when we blend it? Here we've got a stick blender. What I love about a stick blender is it doesn't actually puree it all the way. It still leaves some of the fiber lattices intact. In fact, it even leaves some of the seeds and little bits, and you'll see them on the edge of my blender here. You can see them still sitting there. So we're gonna take this and run it through the same sieve. Here you have just the mash. You can see all the fiber in there. And then you have our pureed cooked fruit. And so we're gonna take that and we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna put it in the sieve. We're gonna set a 5-minute timer, and we're just gonna see how much gets through. You can already see that it's coming through thicker, but it's actually still getting through the sieve. And so by the time the timer was done, there was a full cup, if not a little bit more, out of the 1.5 cups of puree that I put in there, as opposed to 13 teaspoons. So that's quite a difference. Now I had the idea, let's try it in the Vitamix. Does that make a difference? Is there a difference between the stick blender and the Vitamix? So I made sure I had 1.5 cups worth in here again, and I pureed this the way I would if I was making a smoothie in my Vitamix. I pureed it on high, I let it go for a bit. Uh-oh, no bites, licks, and tastes. We wash that off. Here we go into our sieve, same sieve all 3 times. I just washed it in between, and 5 minutes. Now here's what you're gonna notice about this one. Look how fast it comes through. It is just seeping through. I had a little helper for this one. I literally only had to stir it for like 1.5 minutes, and everything passed through. The reason I stirred it is because our stomach kind of squishes things around, right? So we got to understand that that's happening in our stomach too. So I stirred it around and literally everything got through in less than 2 minutes. Everything. So what does that mean? Here you go. I tried it again with my non-pureed pulp, and I stirred it because the first time I actually didn't stir it. So this time I stirred it for the full 5 minutes, and you will be surprised. Here's what happens. Stirring versus not stirring. I'm still stirring. Stir, stir, stir your fruit gently in the sieve. Merrily, 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 dripping, dripping, drip. All right, here we go. We're almost done. 3, 2, 1, beep. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's measure it up. So how does this measure against the stuff that I didn't stir? Because I'm thinking our stomach actually does churn things up. Okay, 15. So only 2 teaspoons more than my first one. Still, I think the results are really, really clear. Don't blend your fruit.